morning, everybody. It's Mike from PC Classic Cars, back with another test drive video. Today we are in this 1968 Chevrolet C10 short wheelbase pickup with a 6-liter LS and a 4L80E overdrive transmission. Alright, so again we have a 68 C10. This truck is a true short bed pickup. It does have the spid decal in the glove box, and at the top of the spid decal you can see the partial VIN, and you can also see the 115 wheelbase, so we do know that it is a short bed. Unfortunately, the spid decals kind of in rough shape. It's hard to read all of the original options, so I can't really tell you what the color code was or what the original motor was. But I can see the partial VIN, and I can see that it was a 115 VIN. And this is a true short bed. Nothing's been cut on the frame. It's pretty much had everything mechanically done to one of these that you're going to want to have done. It's got the cast iron 6-liter. It's had some work done to it. Runs extremely well. On the top, it's got the Holley throttle body with the Tech fuel injection. So as far as the drivability goes, it's a fantastic motor setup. Backed by the 4L80E overdrive transmission that you would have had behind the 6-liter. Transmission shifts excellent. The guy we got it from, he said he went through both the motor and the transmission, and all of that stuff performs well. Unfortunately, I don't have any receipts for all that stuff, but again, the truck drives absolutely excellent. You could drive this thing anywhere. Has a nice set of ceramic headers, dual exhaust, aftermarket style mufflers. It is optioned with it's optioned with the old air products, heat and AC. Both of those function properly. The air is cold, the heat blows hot. It has a good volume of air. On the interior, it's a custom style interior. You have a tilt column, you have a comfort grip wheel, you have an aftermarket set of digital gauges with the red lights and then the white face gauge, which look awesome. They're very easy to read. Custom bench seat with some cup holders in it, a low car floor shifter. Nice black visors. The inside of the truck is painted to match the outside. Overall, the interior is very clean. It has a nice carpet in it, nice mats. You do have your computer mounted over there on the inside of the kick panel on the passenger side. Like I mentioned before, the glove box does have the spid decal in there. Very, very comfortable on the inside of this pickup. Steers excellent. You are optioned with power steering. You do have the CPP front disc brake conversion, and this one does actually have 4-wheel disc brakes on it, so it stops great. They also did the in-frame fuel tank relocation. The filler for the gas is in the center of the bed in the very, very back, so you'll see that inside the bed. I always love getting these trucks that have all of the mechanical stuff done like this one. You could just drive this thing every day. It drives like a newer vehicle with all the suspension stuff that's been upgraded, along with the motor and transmission combo. All right, we'll get on here a little bit. Holds well, shifts nice and positive. A few things don't work. We have the tach listed as no, but it is intermittent. So the tach, it comes up, but I don't think it's 100% accurate. The speedo works, but it's about 10 miles an hour or so off. And then a couple other small little things not working. Make sure you check out the additional infos tab. It'll show all the imperfections on the vehicle, along with the doesn't work section, which outlines what works and what doesn't work. I believe the short list was, again, the tach, the speedo being off, the parking brake doesn't fully engage, there's no flasher button on the column, and I believe the reverse lights were the other items. So a few small things. The underneath is clean. It's had the inner rockers done, like most of these trucks. They could have done a little bit better. There's a few little isolated spots that they could have cleaned up. In that doesn't work section, or excuse me, in the additional info tab, you'll see the photos of the inner rockers that I'm talking about, but overall it is a good solid truck on the bottom. Paint quality is, I would say, average. You can see some modeling in the paint. There's just some darker, hazier spots here and there. There's a spot on the edge of the hood up here. Other miscellaneous imperfections, again, walking up to the truck, it's got a great shine to it. But I suggest taking a look at those additional infos, the additional infos tab, which has the photos of all the imperfections. Again, very presentable truck, and it shows well. It's just not a $15,000 or a $20,000 paint job. Shocking there a little bit. Motor's strong. And with that four-wheel disc brake conversion, this truck stops fantastic. I will say your rear view mirror wants to move around a little bit, needs to be tightened up some. As far as your glass goes, windshield is very clean, no issues. Side glass, there's a few little vertical streaks on both windows from going up and down. Vent windows are nice. The wind noise is to a minimum. Back glass is a solid back glass and looks nice. Suspension is a CVP drop spindle in the front, and then it has a lowering spring and a block in the rear is how it's lowered. As far as the suspension feel, it's a great driving truck. It doesn't beat you to death. If you did notice, when we turned at an angle down into a bump like that, it might rub just a very little bit in the front, but it's minimal enough that it's not something that needs to be addressed. The road feel is great. The steering is nice and tight. It's a very soft ride. And again, these seats feel great. The spec sheet is awesome. I like how it's got the cup holders in the center there. We do a lot of short wheelbase pickups here at my shop. They always sell well. They're fun to drive. This one's got a great color combo. It's got a good look to it with it lowered with the polished wheels. And it's, again, got a lot of money thrown at the mechanicals. You have AC, you got the four-wheel disc brakes, you got power steering, you got an LS motor, you got the 4L80E overdrive transmission, you got heat and AC. The only thing that I can really nitpick on this truck would just be the paint, again, is just average. It wasn't a super high-quality paint job, but again, still presentable, and I would be proud to own this truck and drive it. And if someone wanted to do a little bit of paint work over time, you could. But just a great driving truck and a lot of fun mechanical stuff's been upgraded to it. The exhaust is not too terribly loud. You can definitely hear it when you're in the throttle, but cruising right now at about probably 50 miles an hour, you can definitely have a conversation with the person sitting next to you. You can obviously hear me on the camera here. It doesn't have a loud drone. Even out on the highway doing 70, 75, you're gonna get some cab noise just from the wind going across the truck. But the exhaust isn't a droney exhaust, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves, and I always talk about it in my videos. I can't stand when all you hear is the exhaust and you can't even think while you're driving. This is a good combo where you hear the motor, you hear the exhaust, but it's not terribly loud where you can't talk. I would also upgrade to a retro style radio. It's got a radio in it, but it's definitely older. It's got a little cassette spot, but you can go with a retro style radio. That'd make it a little bit cleaner. There are two little holes drilled here on the dash. I don't know if something was mounted there, but that is there on the interior. You have manual windows, manual door locks, all that stuff functions correctly. And I've never personally owned this brand of gauges before, but I actually really like them. I've always gone with the Dakota Digitals, but this white face gauge here with the red numbers and red outline, it looks really good. It's very easy to read. I forgot to mention you do have a spray and bed liner in the back. And as always, I appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of my test drive videos. If there's ever anything else that y'all want to see, have comments, concerns, questions, don't hesitate to leave a comment on my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to get updates for content that I'm putting out daily. Check us out at PCClassicCars.com, and I will see you guys on my next test drive video. Thanks again for watching.